Hello and welcome. I'm Nick Butts, and this is the Nick Butts Chess Channel. I want to thank all viewers and subscribers for helping support this channel, which is almost going 2 months now. And the upcoming 150th video will be out soon. And I request that all viewers and subscribers leave comments on who they think is the greatest chess player of all time. And for the 150th video, I will do a game review of that player, who they think is the greatest of all time. All right, and now back to this part 13 of this puzzle run on chess.com, where you can follow along as I solve these puzzles. And so let's begin. This first puzzle, white has moved rook to b4 here, which looks like that forks the king and rook. All right. Well, looks like I'm forced to capture here. And then, can my pawn make it? I think so. All right, now, do I let him go first? No. Okay. All right, I thought I could go, and then if he... Oh, I didn't see that. I would be checked if he promoted, so I needed to move my king down. So if I go back, I have to go here and stop that pawn. And then now this one would be able to go up. Well, I should have got that. Okay, I hope you did better than I did on that. Let's move on to the next one. All right. Okay, so here we have, let's see, rook to h6. Okay. And what do we have? Are there any threats? We have a check. So let's see here. Let's see. All right. Well, our king is kind of out in the open. We have checks. So do we check with our rook? He could block. And let's see. Oh, then we have another attack. Okay. Oh, but we can't check with the rook because the queen can just capture there. Huh. Okay. Well, we could check with the queen here. But what does that do? Or check here. If he blocks, we can check there. So I think that works. So check. If he runs down to there, do we have a follow-up though? So check. If he runs to h5, does that do anything? Check. How do we follow up? So check. All right. Is there some crazy queen sacrificing move? Like queen to h8 if he captures. then this rook can't do anything. Okay, so that looks like a no. Well, queen, if he goes here, we could swing down to here, but he could just block. That might work. Okay, so have you found the move yet? I'm thinking queen to d6 with check. If he moves, what do we do? I mean, what if he just moves here? Then what? Then we could go there with check. And then if he swings up there, all right, I'm gonna have to start with this. And that is not what they want. All right, great. All right, retry. So that is not what they want. Okay. Do they want... Let's see, do we sacrifice this rook first, and then if he captures, what does that allow us to do? Huh. Do we go out here? Check. I don't know. I'm not finding this one. I'm not finding this one at all. Do we attack the queen? Does that do anything? I don't know. I don't think I'm going to get this one because I have no clue what they want here. Check. Sacrifice the queen. What does this rook do? Sacrifice the rook here. If we go here, give that up. That doesn't do anything. Man, do they just want that? So that move, but then what do you do? Then you just attack there. Okay, I don't know. I guess that was fairly simple. I hope you found that one. All right, on to the next one. Queen to d5. I'm on a losing streak today. All right, he's threatening mate on g2 here. And it looks like his king is not safe and we can win. Well, I don't know. Have you found the move? I see a good start, but I don't know if I can follow it up. So, obvious is check. He moves here. But then we can't follow up here because the queen will just cover that. Or do we? Or do we? I think, okay, I'm going to go with that. There. We could possibly sacrifice there. Capture. The knight captures. If the king captures, we can still capture this. Or do we just capture that now? We can't because this threat here of mate. So that is not what they want. I'm just on a horrible losing streak today. Okay, so do we just continue with check? Check. He's got to move to here. we check again. Check again and run him. Oh, or we could go here. All right. Well, this is the worst losing streak I've been on since I have been doing these puzzles. Okay. Rook has just, what, captured on f5? So what does black do here? Fork, attack the king and threaten a fork. No, just capture here. Capture, if the queen captures, then we go there with mate. If we do that, looks like we should just capture there. All right, now do we just take this? Is there anything better? Attack the queen. No, he's threatening a mate down here. So I think we have to capture that. And now what do we do? What do we do here? Huh. Okay. We're being attacked. The queen can't move far because of the threat. Do we block with the bishop? Do we block with the bishop? Block with the bishop. He could put more pressure. We could protect with the knight. So, I don't know, I'm thinking we block with the bishop on b5, or sorry, d5. But then if he attacks that again, we could move the knight. Is there a better move? All right, so that's what they wanted to block here with this bishop. All right. You'd think he could put more pressure on that bishop. All right, on to the next one. The rook to d6. Okay. What do we have here? We have two knights. Well, all right, we can check with the knight on e7. Does that do anything? You could just run somewhere. Do we go up here? Does this do anything? Queen to e8, checking. He would have to run to here. And then what do we do? Well, could check, or do we check, then bring our knight up here, threatening a mate here. What can he do in the meantime? Then I think we can just go here. And that forces him to give up his queen, which we have to capture. All right. Okay, 2 in a row. We're trying to bounce back from the earlier bad run. Okay, what do we have here? The queen has just captured on e5. We have a rook and bishop and queen hovering around. All right, we have a rook and queen lined up on h7. But we have to move this rook, or move this bishop out of the way. Where is best to put this bishop? We could capture here. But then, I don't know, after we capture here with the queen, so it depends what he captures with. So if he just captures with the king, I don't know, the queen just gets a pawn. Oh, we have this threat, although we can block it with the knight back to here. Huh. Oh, wait a minute. Do we sacrifice the queen? Sacrifice the queen. And that should do it. All right. Took me a second to find that, because usually you don't try and give up your queen, but it obviously works in that position. Okay. Let us go on here. Okay, did the queen just capture here on e6? All right, let's see. Looks like we can capture the knight, and the queen cannot recapture because of this pin. The king will have to move, but the king will have to move to f7 to protect the queen. And how do we follow up then? Okay, let's think about this. So, all right, obvious is just capturing a knight here with a check. And we have an attack, discovered attack on the queen. So the king will have to move and protect the queen. The king will have to move to f6. And then how do we follow that up? Do we check the king again? All right, anyway, this should be the first move, is capturing on d7. The king is forced to save the queen by moving to f6. But then how do you follow that up? Do we attack? All right, let's do it. Ah, okay, I overlooked that move. Okay. All right. Well, now what? Now the queen can capture our queen. Huh. Okay, I think we can just move this other rook in to e1 here. Because the queen cannot take because this queen is pinning, but they can capture our queen. But then we could capture up here with check and then grab the queen and be ahead 2 pawns. And that's what they wanted. Okay. Yeah, because now if he captures here, we can capture with check and then recapture. All right, on to the next one. Okay, what was that? A bishop to f4 here. I didn't even see if it captured something. Okay, so what do we have? A queen hovering around the king. Do we have any other pieces that can help? We have a check here. The king will have to move here. But what other pieces do we have that can do anything? Well, what do we even have in this position? Oh, I guess we have a check up there. A check. So that works. And then we can bring our other bishop in. And he'll have to block. But or no, we can just check immediately with the mate here. That was an interesting little maneuver. That could come in handy in a game, so that was interesting. Huh. All right, on to the next one here. Okay, capture this h5 pawn. So what does black have here? What does black have? Black has a... Man, we could just move this pawn. You know, recapture with the pawn. Do we go here and threaten to go there? The king would have to move to here. We could capture that. Okay. Is there anything more immediate? So I'm thinking push this pawn forward and threaten to go here on g4, forcing the king to move here. And then we could attack the king and go after this rook. Do we have anything better? 1, if he goes there. 2, we go there. He has to move, check, we capture there. Now he goes to here. We would have to swing back over to here. All right. Oh, he does that immediately. Do we do this first? No, because he can just capture, so we have to capture. Okay, and now we're still threatening to move here and capture his rook by skewering the king. All right, on to the next one. We'll try. Oh, we're lower than when we started. First, we have to get back up to where we were. All right, was that a capture here? And now the bishop could just take that. But does white have anything better? Okay. Well, we have bishops cutting off the king. We could go here with check and then check. So that looks to be the best move. So rook to c7 check. The king is forced to move onto the back rank. And then we could check again, but so check. If he jumps up here, we can check him again. But he could just go back to here. We could get this, but we're so far behind in material, we need a mate. So, check. The king moves here. What do we do? So check. The king can only move up to this back rank. He goes there. I mean, we could... All right. This is another tricky one. It looks like rook to c7 is the best move, unless there's something else that wins. Nope. Looks like that's not it. Another bad move. All right. Well, I do not know what they want here then. Okay, do we sacrifice the bishop with check? If he captures, we capture. All right, and then this is mate. All right, so we missed that one. On to the next one. The rook has just moved, attacking this bishop, which is protected by the pawn. Okay, what can black do here? Oh, okay. Sacrifice the rook. Oh, well, maybe we need to take out this bishop first. We can't. Okay, so we got to do this. Then this, then that. All right, well, we've got a little higher than when we started, so we're trying to make progress. Okay, what do we have here? The pawn just moved to g3, attacking the rook. So do we move that rook with check to f3? Or do we have another move? Ah, okay. Have you found the move? I think I found this. The king is all boxed in with the rook and the pawns. All right, I think we have a mate there. All right, on to the next one. Okay, the rook has just moved, attacking our queen. So rook to f5, attacking the queen on f4. What do we have here? Huh. Okay. So, we would like to deliver a mate up in that corner. We have two rooks on the back rank, the queen and the bishop battery. So if we sacrifice the queen here, black would be forced to capture with this pawn. And then we could check. But do we have a follow-up? He would have to move. So queen to h6, pawn captures, rook checks. The king would have to move to g7 or 6. Do we have a follow-up there? All right, or do we check first? Boom. This tricky one. All right. Oh, I'm having trouble figuring this one out. Okay. Rook checks. He has to go here. Then what do we do? Queen, sacrifice. The king could capture. He could jump back into this hole here. So all right. Let's say we check with the rook, driving the king down to g6. Then we could check with the queen. He would try and block with his knight. We could capture. Then he could check us here with his doubled rooks and cause problems. All right. Oh, this one is being difficult. All right. I hope you found this one already because I'm having trouble in this one. It's racking my brains. Okay. Rook to h8. King moves here. If we could get rid of this knight, well, all right. Well, let's look at that again. Rook to h8, check. King moves to g6. We check with the queen. He blocks with the knight. We could capture. If he captures here, we could capture with the queen. Capture, I don't know. Then his queen captures the bishop with check. That does not look good. Okay. Let's look at this bishop or queen sacrifice again. Queen sacrifices on h6. Pawn captures on h6. Then we have a check here. Then the king would have to move here or what? Here to g7 or 6. So boom, boom. Check. King moves here, here. He moves here. We can check with the bishop. No, we can't because the bishop is pinned by the queen. So then what do we do? I'm not figuring this one out. Queen sacrifice. Pawn captures. Rook checks. Now the king can move here. We can't follow up with the other rook because the knight would just capture. So maybe the rook checks first. Rook to h8. Pawn moves, or excuse me, king moves. I'm not even thinking straight here. Rook to h8. King moves. Maybe the rook swings down in there now. Because then if he captures with the pawn, that's it. Okay. Finally. Holy moly, that one worked my brain out. Okay, I hope you got that one faster than I did. Okay, on to the next one. The rook has just moved here to b1, attacking my lone rook, but I also have this bishop under attack. So what do we have here? What can we do? If we go there, does that do anything? Do we attack his queen here? If he captures, no, that wouldn't work. Huh. All right, we do have this passed pawn here. Is that doing anything? Maybe we capture the bishop, which attacks his rook. If he captures our rook, we can capture his rook. So I think that works because... All right, that seems to be best. I don't know. Nope, that is not best. All right, what do we do now? It's probably some tricky move, like moving this pawn. Nope, it's not that. All right, I don't know here. I don't know. Do we attack his queen here? He could just take mine. And if I capture... do we sacrifice? Nope, that doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know what to do in this move. Bring this up. Nope, that's not working. Okay, I have no idea what to do here. I'm just getting frustrated now. All right. What is a target? What is something I can go after? I don't see anything. Do we just protect the rook like this? Do we just capture? So that's what it wanted. It wanted us to capture. Okay. Do we just capture again? No, it does not like that. Okay, do we just push the pawn? Nope, it didn't want that. All right, I don't know. Just protect. Nope, it doesn't like any of these moves. This is just a frustrating puzzle. All right, I don't know. Do I just move it to there? All right, I'm gonna just. I don't know what this move is. Give me the move. What is the move? What is it? Rook here. Okay. Okay, so now I just capture and I'm ahead. Capture and then I'm ahead. Okay. All right, that one was ridiculous. On to the next one. I hope you found that one better than I did. Okay. Pawn has just moved to b3. What do we do? We have a queen check on d1. He could just jump into that hole. If we go there, he can block, or we just pick this off, but then he gets this one. So all right, I don't know. Obvious is queen to d1 check, king to b2, and then maybe checking up here to try and drive him into the open. If he does, we can get him there. Okay. Oh, God, the mouse slip. Come on. What in the... oh, stupid mouse. Stupid mouse. I wanted to move there. Now I know how people get frustrated with these mouse slips. Okay, and that wasn't even the correct move anyway. So they want that. And now what? A check? Check there, a check with a capture with check. All right. On to the next one. All right. C3. C3. All right, I hope you all are doing better than I am. This is just a horrible day for puzzles. Horrible. Okay. C3. C3. What is going on in this position? The bishop is pinned on f5. If it moves out of the way, we capture on f1. He captures, we capture, and it's a mate. So what can we do to add pressure? Okay. Do we just add another attacker to the bishop with the queen? And if we do that, where is best? All right. Now we just, oh wait, we have to watch out for this sneaky garbage right here. If we attack or capture with the rook on f5, he comes down here and checks our king on h6. Then we block with the queen. Then he could capture over here. He can't do that because we get him here, so we have to go here. So do we just move the king up to protect everything? Do we just do that to stop threats? Then he could move away to here. If we capture, he capture. All right, so I think we have to do this. So now if he captures, I guess our queen can swing over here. And then if he captures, we recapture. Or let's see, we go there. We capture, we threaten his queen. I don't know. That still looks kind of crazy. All right, a capture here. What can white do? Okay. Well, have you found your move that you think is best? I would say all right. Well, okay, this is what I'm thinking. We have to watch out. Our king could be attacked here, but we have a check. I don't think I want to check on e5 because it looks like he could run back up here. So check here. But then where will he go? If he goes here, we could check. And then, all right, queen to h4 check. If the king moves here, what do we do? What do we do? He can't go there. So queen to h4 check. If he goes here, We go there. He comes up there. All right, anyway, let's just move there. Okay, now the queen or the knight can check, and he'll move back to here. And then that would be mate once we go there. All right, on to the next one. The queen has just gone to h7. What do we have in this position? Looks like a pinned rook to the king. Okay, so have you found the move in this position? And the rook is pinned, so it cannot rescue by capturing the queen there. All right, on to the next one. Rook has moved, attacking the knight on g7, but the knight is protected by the bishop, but still the king could recapture and get 2 pieces for a rook. So what can we do here? All right. Well, 3 pieces to his 4 for the minor pieces. So black is ahead in material. This knight would like to jump up here and fork the king and queen, but the pawn would capture. And then if we recapture, he captures. All right, what else do we have? We have a check here that can be killed by 2 different ways. The bishop can capture the knight can capture the knight. Does that do anything? Capture. The queen can't really do anything but go here. So it looks like we need to move this knight out of the way. Do we go there? That is pretty serious. Attacking the king and the queen. He captures. Then the queen can swing up here, putting him in check. But how do we follow that up? So if the king moves here, we have a discovered attack. By going here, a discovered double check, and that would win. Okay, there, and that wins because the king is limited. Let's see. If he goes here, is that a mate? By going... Come on, I wish they would show this entire sequence. If you go here, then what? Can't go there. Can't go there. What do you do if he goes there? What do you do if the king goes here? If he goes there to f8, you just move to e7 with a double discovered checkmate. But if he moves to king to f6, then what? You just move down to f3. Or, oh no, you just capture with the pawn, maybe. with check, and that would do it. Interesting. All right, on to the next one. Okay, queen was under attack by the bishop, and so the queen has retreated to d6. What do we have here? All right. Well, we have a queen lined up on the king, but there's two pawns in the way. We have a bishop lined up here. Do we sacrifice a rook? He could just capture with the queen. Boom, boom. Doesn't really look like anything. I don't know. We can sacrifice our bishop on g7. Does that do anything? It brings the king out in the open a little. Do we attack the queen? Do we attack the queen here on E? Does that work? Do we just go there? Bishop to E5, attacking the queen and the rook. Does that work? If we go there, does this threat do anything? So if we go there, he goes there, and the king captures. Then what does the queen do? The queen can move with check. So maybe we got to go back that way. All right. So he goes there with a threat. Okay, do we just capture the rook? And if he goes there, we can just go into the corner. Or he captures with the bishop, forking these two. Okay. Huh. All right, what is the trick? What is the trick? I don't know. Just capture. Now what? Do we move here to help protect this? And he backs away, threatening a mate, but we can go here and attack. Like that. Then capture. All right. Well, on to the next one. Okay, the king was in check by the queen on a4, so the king has retreated back to b1. And then it looks like, unless we have any threats on our own king, that we can just trap. Can we just trap the king by moving our bishop up to b3 and threaten here and here with the queen? He would have to move his queen, but we could capture with our bishop. What is his threat? What is his threat? Okay. Okay. Does he have any threats on us? No, it does not like that. It does not like that at all. Huh. So maybe I had to attack with the bishop first, driving him back. No, it doesn't like that either. So what about this? Finally, that's what it wants? Okay. Well, now do I bring the bishop up? Nope, it doesn't like that. Okay. Do we go here? Okay, now what? Do we attack again? And then mate him. Okay, that's what it wanted. That was a little tricky. All right, on to the next one. The king has just moved to d3. What do we do? Can we march a pawn forward? Can we march a pawn up and forward? Possibly yes. Now, do we go here and try and march this pawn up? All right, I guess he can't stop both of them. Can't stop this pawn and that pawn. So next we could start marching this one up. All right. Or can he stop both of them? Let's see. Can't move this one, he'll just capture. And then this bishop can swing back. So if we move this one next, then the king will have to move over here. Huh. Anyway, on to the next one. King has just moved to f8. What do we have? What can we do here? All right. Okay, so what can white do? White cannot move his bishop on f3 as it is pinned by the queen. We can push a pawn forward, forking. So maybe that will work. Okay, we could push this pawn forward to g7, attacking the king and the rook. So probably want to do that because black could attack here, capturing the bishop with check. So we need to get some attacks in with check. So g7. Does that work? g7. g7, g7. Do we do that first? So if he goes here, we have a rook that can jump up and check him. All right. That. And now looks like we under promote to a knight to win. All right. Well, I'm having trouble getting up higher here. I'm kind of stuck at 2360 something. So Let's try to do better on this one. And I hope you all are solving these a little better than I have today. But they have gotten harder. So bishop to c8, attacking my bishop, which is pinned to my queen. Is there any kind of attack that we can do here? Tricky. Okay. Well, we have a possible check here with the bishop. If there's a capture, we can capture. Actually, that wouldn't work. That would not work. Do we capture over here with check? Capture over there with check. If he captures, our queen can check, but if he hides behind the bishop, our knight can jump in there. Okay, so that is a candidate, is to go here with check, follow up with the knight. All right. But is this better? Bishop to e6. And then if he moves, the knight could check, the rook could capture. All right, I think this. All right, so he has captured. So what is best for us here? Queen to h4 to put him back up into or does this do anything? Queen to e, queen to e4. He could just jump back up into here. Okay. Now, do we threaten a mate by jumping the knight into here and threatening queen to h8? Can he stop that? There's a temporary check here. The king would have to move. But then he could block here. Okay. Well, I don't know. It doesn't look like I have any options. Looks like I have to go with the knight here, threatening mate, but then he can check me here. All right. I have to go here to keep the knight, or keep the king trapped. And I have to go there. All right. Well. All right, on to the next one. I'll try and hurry this up because this has been a longer video since I was going up and down in the rating. Okay, queen has just moved to d5. Okay, blocking our queen. What do we have here? Okay. Oh, have you found the move? I just saw this possibility. Oh, wait, we're in check, so it doesn't work. All right. Well, we can still capture here and come out ahead. And then there, and capture that. Oh, now that is under attack. So, we could check first. And now we can protect this. Oh, by going back. Okay, that's better. All right. Okay, I'll try to make it to 2400, but hopefully I won't have any more disasters. Okay, we have a queen move here to h8, checking my king. And man, I'm surrounded by 2 knights, a rook, and a queen. And it looks like the only thing I can do, well, I can capture that queen with a bishop, and maybe that's what it wants. Then the rook would come down, then I could escape up to here. But then he could capture, and I would have to run up to here. Ooh, that's tricky. And then he could check me again, but I could capture there. So, or do I just run up to here? No, it looks like I need to do that. And then now I must run. So do I run here or here? If I go here and he captures with the knight, I can capture this knight. So he'll probably capture with the rook. Okay, so, and, well, he could also check me with his bishop, and that would put me in trouble. Okay, so maybe I have to go here, and then if I retreat this way, ooh, maybe I have to retreat this way. Staying on the light squares because he has that dark squared bishop there. Oof, oof. Then he could threaten to come down here. But then, okay, my knight will save the day. Whew, that one was a little tough. Okay, on to the next one. The bishop has just retreated back to d7, attacking my pawn. Okay, what do we have here? Oh, also he's allowing this passed pawn to start pushing forward. And we do not want that turning into a queen. So, what do we have? All right. Have you found the move? I think I have found a good move here. All right. And he has to give up his rook because we're threatening mate here. But even after we capture, we're still threatening the mate here. And he'll have to push for, well, what if he would have just pushed that pawn forward immediately? If he pushed a pawn forward and we checked, he could escape to there. Huh. I don't know. It looks like he could have. All right, I'm going to stop there for as far as the moves, but I want to review that one because it looks like let's see. It looks like he could have pushed a like sacrificed a pawn, but then if I checked him, let's say if I went there, or well here maybe, with this pawn, the D pawn captures, then he could move to here. So let's go back and I wanted to analyze that. Okay, so after here, capture, what am I, capture. Okay, let's analyze this. So if, well, it wants bishop to e8 because it says, what did we play? Bishop here, or whose turn is it? Current position. Is it saying it's white's turn here? Yes. Why did it do that? Okay, details. White, where's the player to move? Why is it doing this? This is annoying. Come on. How do you switch it to make the other player move? Let me get out of this. That was just annoying. Okay, we want an analysis, but we want it to be black to move. How do you switch it over? Flip the board, set up the position. Oh my gosh, this is annoying. How do you make it so it is the other person's turn to move? Set up the position. Oh my gosh, this is like a lot of unnecessary junk. Black to move. Okay. Now I guess we have to load it. And so here, bishop to h4 was best. Yeah, and then here they recommended e4, which is what I was wanting to see. And then d takes e4 with check, because you want to capture with this pawn, because this one was cutting him off here from being able to go down to the other side and attack your bishop, I guess. All right, now it's saying if the king moves here to e3, then there's a mate with bishop to f2. Okay, and then that would be mate. So the only thing to do here is capture, and then b3 to drive the king away. So then once the king moves to what, e2, then you can capture. F takes e4, and then after c6, what do we have? Rook to b2 check. Huh. It's saying that that's the best move. Rook to b2 check. And then king to e3. King to e3. And then now what? Bishop to f2 check. So there, then the king is forced to capture. Then it wants rook to what? b3 threatening mate. Holy moly. Rook to, this would have been difficult to find all these moves, I think. All right, then f5 by white is best for any chance of hanging in there. E takes f5 with check. Now the king can retreat to d5, and then rook to b4, rook to b4, and then here c7 is not the best move, but rook to b7, then capturing. This is a crazy line here. King to c5, king to c5. So, well, I guess that's the only place he can go, is to there. And then rook to d1, rook to e4 is what they recommend. Rook to e4 with a check discovered here by this bishop. King to d6 is what they want. Rook to e6. King to d5. Rook to e5 check. This is insane. King to c4. Rook to c5. Finally, king to d3. And finally, you grab this pawn. And then you should win from here. Whew, that was pretty crazy. Okay, this video has been too long. I apologize for that. So I hope if you've stuck around for all of this, then I thank you. Also, viewers and subscribers, please remember to leave a comment on your favorite chess player of all time, or who you think is the greatest chess player of all time, and that player will be featured in a game review in the 150th video that's coming up soon. Also, remember to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed this video, and please leave comments and suggestions. Thank you. Let me get out of here. Thank you and have a great day.